What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to the Apothecary Diaries. This time is season 2, episode 11, I believe it is. Obviously, we got the infamous frog episode today, I do believe. I've had to go on a mass kind of muting and banning spree on my Twitter, to be honest with you. So many spoilers everywhere about this episode. Luckily, I've avoided them. Unfortunately, I did want to admit I have been spoiled about something that did come up last episode. Just so I don't spoil any of you guys. I don't really want to mention what it was, but it was pertaining to who a certain character was during the episode. I'm not going to say anything more than that, and I'm not even sure if it's confirmed, if what I saw was a spoiler, but yeah, just putting that out there, just in case anything does come up with that this season. I will mention it if it does, but yeah, super looking forward to this. Again, I've managed to somehow escape any ongoings of today's episode, other than the fact that people are extremely hyped for it. Do let me know what you guys think about this one though down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys do enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with these weekly reactions. I think as per season 1, it will just be continuing. I'm not sure if there'll be a week break or anything, but hopefully, again, this just kind of keeps on rolling like it did in the first season. I'm not a big fan of like the 3/6 month break between like parts of shows. Like, I understand for production it might be necessary, but I'd rather just wait longer for the whole thing than get a part and then wait months for the next. Not sure how you guys feel about that. I feel like, especially, I always mention this, Dungeon Meshi, Freya and Apothecary Diaries, all, well, not Dungeon Meshi, that didn't start with like an extended episode, but this released 3 episodes initially, and again just kept rolling, and all 3 of those shows again just kind of kept rolling and didn't have a break between them, and I feel like that added so much more into kind of the immersiveness of the characters in the universe, and that's why those 3 were my favourite shows of last year. I just think it's much better to start off with that. A good example might be Sakamoto Days, which is now kind of going on a break for a few months, and just kind of, you lose a bit of steam doing that, I think. Well, let's see what this episode's about. Like I said, there's been an ungodly amount of hype for this one. Hopefully we'll be seeing a bit of Gingy, because I haven't seen too much of him recently. Also, not too many people seem to like last episode, which I thought was quite interesting. A few people are calling it like the weakest episode so far. You guys know I'm a big fan of like horror stories and such, so I was a big fan of last episode. And about the spoiler I mentioned, like, it's one of those things where it might be a spoiler, it might not be. It might also be that some people have kind of caught on to what I was talking about just naturally anyway. I wouldn't have. I imagine the people who read the source material probably know what I'm talking about. Good. We need some more Jinchi. Okay, işte. Yeah. You've always got to question the quality when you're giving up Mau for someone, aren't you? Like, no one's going to be quite as good as or as diligent as her. Be sure. Oh no. This shows her worth. We'll take it as a positive. I do think Yoko does kind of realise a little bit that Jin, she does like her. She toyed with him for another 30 minutes. Okay. Kind of brutal. Lee. Recently just played Yakuza as a pretty cool character called Lee. Although I think it was spelled differently. Oh, what? Oh, she's all dressed up. Ah, that guy. Okay. That's a pretty cool setting, right by the water. Obviously, a lot of the designs for the buildings and such are very similar. What does that mean? What do you mean by that? Two beautiful people not allowed to see him. I would assume that it's for sleeping. Just put it over your head so you get some darkness so you can sleep. Wow. She has an inkling. I don't think I'll ever fully understand the dynamics, to be honest with you. Just because I think once they are revealed, it will be a lot easier to. But because they're hiding them, yeah, it's, yeah, family stuff is quite confusing. These I've had explained for me really well multiple times, and I kind of get it, but I wouldn't be able to describe to anyone else how this stuff works at all. Like a hierarchy of things and so on. Just a turtle. I've never ate a turtle before. Not sure it's all that common. So it doesn't look awfully appetizing. I think it's probably because one of my childhood friends used to have a little turtle, tiny little turtle. He used to look after. He used to really like that little guy. I'm not sure if it was a turtle or a tortoise actually. I think it might have been turtle because it was like really small. Oh, this is like pretty awkward, isn't it? Oh, what's happened here? She's just immune to poisons, and alcohol is a type of poison. He really can't handle his drink. Dude had one sip. But yeah, what I was gonna say is it's pretty awkward. I never really thought about this. Not maybe Mama's probably used to it and that by now with it being her job and such. But just getting like watched. I'm not sure about you guys, but just being like the only one to eat and people like watching you is always a little bit awkward. Oh shit. That person. So a more. So I imagine it's not because he's beautiful. They're just trying to hide his face. Then. Okay. Yeah, we've got a more literal kind of assassination attempt than what we used to. When I say literal, I guess that's not the right word, but more straightforward, your more normalized way of killing someone right here, rather than poisons and such. I wonder who their target is. I mean, you imagine it's Jinchi, but I don't know. I feel like it might be Mao Mao. I don't know why it would be. I'm probably being quite stupid, but you guys know I worry about her. She is and just becoming more and more important and a more and more bigger figure in that's this guy, the naked dude. Yeah, she becomes more of a nuisance as time goes on for people with that do want to assassinate people and so on. Fuzzy little dog. Exactly. Oh, I'm thinking of Mao Mao, although she isn't actually like going up in status or anything. She's aren't those. Not sure you're allowed those in the UK. I could be talking absolute nonsense. But I think I remember like hearing as a kid like, unethical or something. Again, I might just be talking absolute rubbish. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure not allowed to like use dog whistles or anything. Is it? He's hosting. Maybe we did see him sweating a little bit. Hmm. So this is Lowlands family. Oh god, what's going on with him? Is he really overheating? Go on, give him a potion. People do so much. Like this is not totally like against the point here, but you see it nowadays with different variations of things. People do so much to uphold their appearances, even to the point where they'd literally torture themselves and overheat. Just, I mean, this is again seemingly to hide his identity. Like I said, I'm really not majorly well versed in why he's doing this. I mean, there must be a specific political reason as to why. I'm just not fully aware of it, but again, this is slightly different. But even like to an extent, it does relate to like stuff you see nowadays. Again, it might be controversial, but like cosmetic surgeries, there can be positive ones. There can be positive cosmetic surgeries for people with like burns and so on, and people that really do like suffer from their kind of perspective of themselves. But I feel like yeah, more often than not, it's one of those things where people again would just try and uphold a certain look, try and uphold a certain kind of way they want to be viewed, even to a point again where they'd commit and do things that would be considered back in these times, like butchering yourself and cutting off body parts and removing things and altering things. And yeah, it's just a really interesting thing to think about. Again, I totally understand that people have their own kind of perceptions of themselves and how they want to be and such, but it's amazing. Again, the point is that people would go so far just to give off a certain type of like image or not be a certain way. For example, always feel that quite interesting. I've always had a bit of a dodgy nose, as you can see, and I've definitely thought about what my life would be like if I like didn't anything, but I wouldn't change it. So it's Jinshi. Oh shit! Oh, I paused at the wrong time there, didn't I? Bloody hell! What? They're gonna fucking die. Ouch. Well, better than getting shot. Who are these? They part of Lowlands? Yeah, who knows? What? Oh. Oh, I see. I was gonna say, what the hell was that? Well, that was that cut. You absolutely knew what they were doing there. You were lucky you wasn't conscious 5 seconds ago, Mal. Not even an indirect kiss, that one. It's not. You don't count that as a kiss, do you? But it's like it's close. Damn. Okay. Well, that went. Yeah. Let's rewind back to that. Yeah, they absolutely knew what they were doing there, didn't they? That cut was brutal. Maybe I should have saw it coming with the fact that they jumped in the water like that. But that's some big fan service there for you guys that like that. I mean, I think everybody, maybe not everybody, but I think a lot of people obviously want to see these guys develop their relationship and such. So yeah, this is a nice bit of fan service here. It's the fan service I mean it's not like true fan service, I guess, but it's yeah, it's a little like teaser. Okay, I wonder what Mao Mao would have if she if she was conscious during this. Wonder what. I mean, the whole point is that she's not conscious, but yeah, I wonder what she'd think about if someone else saw this and told her, for example. She looks real rough, right? About as rough as Mao Mao can look, which is still very beautiful. So I imagine this is where we might encounter the frog. It seems like a frog's kind of type of habitat. Ribs. I imagine she was talking about her chest. And do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me a little bit of a scene in Berserk, honestly, with Casca and Guts. Very different, but similar setting wise, I think. And you know what? Now I think about it, Casca and Mao Mao, they're not a million miles apart as characters, honestly. They got a similar kind of strength to them, which I like, in different ways, of course. But looks like celery. Damn, we're really getting a lot right now, aren't we? I think like people are. I didn't used to drink very much water, to be honest with you, so I totally get why people wouldn't. But I think when you hear the fact that your body is like 70% water, I think that they're just like that should tell you a lot, right? You should always be drinking and eating and such. Well, again, that's a more, yeah. Are they not counted guns? I guess at this point. Well, there's five of them, weren't there? I imagine that might draw the assassins. Although I think they walked off, didn't they, thinking that they're dead. Yeah, you're gonna have to. There's no other way to do this, really, is there? It's all mossy. is the frog. It's weirdly romantic for a mossy old cave, isn't it? So, just looking back for a sec. Okay, okay. So that's the frog. I was, to be honest with you, I was like go through the whole episode like, where's the frog? Where's the bloody frog? And like I said, this is actually like the perfect hibernation place, I guess. I don't know if that's what you call it. Location for a frog to be, an old mossy, damp place like this. I mentioned before, I used to try and collect frogs and insects and all sorts in my garden when I was a kid, so I'm quite good at knowing the habitats. Where I'd find the frogs usually is under, we'd have like a stone kind of bit outside of my garden, and like lift up some of the stones, there'd be all sorts living under there, and so every so often there was like some frogs. So yeah, not an expert per se, but got some experience. Yeah, lots of fan service today. I like that. And like I said, not the egregious kind of kind, the more so, and just again being a bit teasy with. But that was a bit more than a tease there at the end, to be honest with you. Like the resuscitation bit was like, yeah, I mean, needed to be done. You can take that as a big bit of fan service if you want. Are these frogs on the designs here? They almost kind of look like little frogs. Yeah, little like Freddo frogs, honestly. But yeah, that bit at the end there was definitely not like, that was nothing but like, that was Jinchi just like, yeah, acting, finally acting upon his feelings, seemingly. Could be an interesting start to next week's episode, isn't it? Well, that didn't bode too well. But yeah, to be honest, from the preview, it doesn't look like this ends up working out too well for him. Walking off, looks like he's a little bit pissed off there. Well, that might just be to do with the whole situation. This is an interesting scene. She almost looks. No, it's kind of hard to tell with Mao Mao. She doesn't look like she's quite smiling there, but holding her heart. Like this scene here, with a little war between them. Interesting. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, lots of fan service. Well, I say lots, two little bits of fan service, but it feels like a lot just because there's been so much kind of building in season one and for parts of this season. I think much more so in season one. Obviously, we had longer in season one, but there was a bigger focus on it in season one, I think, than we've had so far this season. But this, yeah, might have been the. This is a really interesting scene. It was never like she falls on him, and then he's just like, just holds her there. Doesn't want to let her go. I do see people like take things. Some people seem to have like a negative opinion on this relationship. I think I did read up about some comments on it, and like age wise and stuff, I think it's fine. I think the positions they're in, I think there definitely can be, and there has been, and there will be kind of abuses of hierarchy and such to kind of. I mean, that has been a part of recent episodes of the old emperor taking advantage of young women. I don't think this is anything like that. I can understand how people might see that as a kind of thing, and that's something I'd be conscious of if I was in a higher position, wanting to kind of date someone in a lower position. But I honestly don't see anything problematic with this relationship from what I've seen of the anime, to be honest with you. So I've got no problems with it. I think there's always going to be problems with anything, to be honest with you. But again, this was kind of nothing but just seeing Jinchi's kind of emotions and such kind of being acted upon, and right here. I think this is a really lovely scene, actually. Like I said, I always see people comment about that stuff, but I never really get it. I never really understood why people view it that way. But yeah, like I said, really awesome episode. Looking forward to seeing exactly who it is that is trying to assassinate him so boldly here as well. Like in the daytime, almost out in the open. I mean, they got a good chance here, and he was almost by himself. Of course, Man Mouse with him, but he would so boldly try and assassinate him like this. It's pretty insane, especially considering how loud guns are. Yeah, who exactly is behind this is one question I have. Another question I have is, of course, the kind of social structure stuff. But like I said, even if I get explained that, it's going to be hard to wrap my head around. I get the gist of the situation that's going on here, so that is enough for me. But yeah, just a lot of really awesome scenes. I didn't, to be honest with you, I was expecting the frog to be of more importance. I've mentioned this in previous episodes. I was maybe thinking like frogs have some frogs can like, I've seen people like lick them and get like high off them and things like that, and some are poisonous. And I thought it might be something like, again, I thought the frog would have more importance than just kind of jumping on Mau Mau's head, which caused this. But yeah, I guess that's just one of those things, isn't it? Obviously, it led to this awesome scene. So very happy for that frog, of course. But yeah, do let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section. Really good episode today. Again, looking forward to continuing off where we left off next week. Like I said, that's going to be a very interesting start to that episode. Again, let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with these reactions. And I'll see you guys next week with episode 12.